wanted to know everything about weight loss surgery? Well, your wish has been granted. Introducing the Bariatric Beauties, hosted by me, Sherry.
And me, Victoria. Tune in now for tons of great content every Wednesday, 7 p.m. London time.
And 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
You won't want to miss a thing. Disclaimer, Victoria and I are not medical professionals. We are just two chicks talking about bariatrics based on our journeys. Hello!
Hello!
And welcome back to another episode of Bariatric Beauties with me and Victoria. Hello, Victoria.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. How are you doing today?
Good, fabulous too.
Good. Well, we have another exciting show for you. We have a special guest. Victoria, tell us a little bit about how you met Audrey.
So basically, I started a support group, and about a year and a bit ago now, I was advertising and saying, "Hello, come and see me." And yeah, we got together through that, and we've been together ever since. And now we're like really close, and I love it because she's gorgeous.
I love that.
Her and her husband, Mike, who we
and
interviewed last week.
Yeah, so Mike is who we interviewed a while back, and now we are interviewing his wife, Audrey. So we're really excited to see her side of the story. And I don't know much about her story at all. I've met her in the support group, so I'm literally looking forward to this show because I want to know all about Audrey and how she got to where she is now. So I think
I'm going to be quiet a bit because I know so much. I want the audience to sort of know her themselves rather than me going, "Yeah, I know, yeah." You see what I mean?
Yeah, so they're gonna learn right alongside me. So without
further exactly.
Let's bring on Audrey.
Let's bring on Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi, darling.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, my sweet.
Okay, how you doing?
Doing fabulous.
We're great. First, I started.
Come here, buddy.
First and foremost, thank you so much for being here today. We really do appreciate it. And we know how hard it is for some people to share their journeys and what they're going through. So we are just very grateful for people who want to come forward and just tell us about what the experience was like for them. So thank you so much, first and foremost.
Oh, thanks for letting me give my story.
Yeah, thanks, darling.
I want to help everybody and kind of be a source of information and somebody that's been there.
Oh, you sweetheart.
So because I don't know so if you can start off with how far out you are when you had the surgery, and then maybe tell us a little bit on the journey up until that point, like what led you to have bariatric surgery.
Okay, so I had surgery December of 2020.
Okay.
And it just, Mike had brought up getting surgery probably like 2 years before. And I was like, no, I don't need to do that. You know, I've always had a weight problem, but I've lost weight on my own before. You know, I thought, oh, it's a drastic step to take. You know, y'all think you could do it by yourself. And it's like, okay, well, why did I leave myself get to this point then? If I could do it by myself, why am I where I am now? So I had thyroid nodules taken out, and my endocrinologist had mentioned that he had had some patients that had had bariatric surgery, and it did well for them. So I was like, I'll go see what the doctors have to say. You know, I really didn't have much faith that I would really go through with it. But once I went, I thought, you know what, it seems like something that would work for me. And unfortunately, the doctor that he had sent me to didn't work out because of my insurance. So I had to go to another doctor and go through that whole process with that doctor. But eventually, my first appointment, I think, was in July of 2020. And then I had my surgery in December. And I had the bypass.
Oh, so you had the bypass?
Yeah, I had the bypass.
Okay. So question number one then, you literally went through the process at the height of a pandemic.
Yeah, we were really worried that our surgery was going to get canceled because they were shutting down the elective surgeries. I think it was here in the year. because I think it was like around March or something that they had shut them down.
Mm-hmm.
Then I forget when they opened it back up, if it was like October or something, and then it was October, December.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a
they
long time.
opened up again, didn't they? And then they shut again.
Yeah.
So we were constantly watching the news and watching the numbers. I work in the healthcare field, so I mean, I know I run the COVID tests every day, so
Yeah.
I kind of knew what was going on, and it was like, I'll probably know if they're going to shut things down again.
Right.
But it still didn't make me feel any better. So it was kind of funny that I think it was like the week before or something, they had called me and said, "Oh, we had a cancellation. Do you want to move your surgery up 2 days before it would have been?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm not
Let's
chancing
just
this
do it.
service every day anyway." And here I didn't have a ride there because it was like almost 2 hours away from my home, because my insurance would only cover a facility within my health group that I work in, and that was 2 hours away, which ironically now I live here and I work at that hospital. But back
It's so
then,
weird.
it was a little bit of a haul having to drive for my appointments. It was only 3 months of appointments, but I'd have to come once a month, my day off, drive the 2 hours each way,
Right.
for my appointments, but it was worth it.
And then out of curiosity, was there any different protocols because it was in the middle of the pandemic as far as like what the average person goes through during the surgery process?
You couldn't have visitors with you.
Okay, so Mike couldn't come see you.
No. So that day they dropped me off, and you're there by yourself till they pick you up.
Oh my God. And how long were you in the hospital for?
Just a night.
Oh, it was just one night for you.
Yeah, so I was home by the next evening.
That's not too bad.
No,
It's not terrible. But like, so then like now I'm just fascinating. So like what kind of stuff goes through your head? Like you're just by yourself in the hospital. You just have like this major surgery. Like you're trying to process what you just put yourself through and everything. And you don't really have anyone to talk to. You don't have your support system right next to you.
I was zoned. The first night, I was so drugged up and out of it.
You didn't care.
I woke up in the middle of the night. And called Mike and goes, why didn't you call me? And he goes, it's 3:00 in the morning. What are you talking about? I'm like, okay, I guess I'll see you later when you come get me. And it was out again. I was so zoned. I don't know if it was just the pain meds or what. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I mean, by the time I left, I was in pain, excruciating pain, and having to drive home for, almost 2 hours. Every bump in the road was like,
oh my God.
It was bad. That was not good at all.
I totally, and like, I guess I can say I'm luckier than you because I think my drive was like 45 minutes from home from where the hospital was. But until
Mine's 5 hours.
Yeah, yours was crazy. But I just literally had flashbacks to Eric driving me home from the hospital, and every speed bump or every like short stop, I was like, ah! And poor Eric felt so bad. Like he's trying to drive like this little grandma, like to help out or whatever. And so when we had the guys on the show, he gave great advice to anybody who's having surgery. When you're coming home from the hospital, have a pillow with you. Have your partner or whoever's picking you up have a pillow that you can hold, because I forgot about that until right now. That's crazy.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah.
Back and I forget. And I didn't even have my pain meds. I had to go pick them up.
Yeah.
I had to wait till the next day. So it was like not good at all. I had to beg them to give me one before I left because I'm like, can't you just give me one? And they're like, no, we'll give you one to hold it for your ride home. So until that kicked in. Like, but yeah.
So in the very beginning, what was the recovery like for you?
It was bad.
Really?
I couldn't. I thought I could lay down. I've never had abdominal surgery in my life. I thought I could lay. The first night I sat up sleeping. And after a while, after a couple nights of that, it's like, this is getting old. My butt hurts. I want to lay down. I tried to lay down, and to get up was, oh God, it was bad. I had like a cane to push myself up. I was pulling myself up on the headboard of the bed. It was excruciating for probably a week. It was bad.
Yeah, I think I slept on a recliner for almost 3 weeks, I think.
I slept on the recliner, but then I
Yeah.
was
I
anyway.
couldn't stand it anymore. I was like, I gotta
Yeah.
lay down. I gotta lay down. Even though, you know, it was, you
Mm,
suffered for getting up, believe me.
Yeah.
mm. It's
But,
worth it for lying down.
yeah.
And then so what
Tell us
was
about your like journey in the beginning, sort of like,
oh my
have you
God,
always been big
you literally
as
read my
a
mind. That's
child?
exactly what I was gonna ask.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I took
So
it.
what led me to get it, or
Yeah, sort of as a child, were you big? And like through your teenagers, were you big? Or did it
when I
suddenly
was
come
little, I
on?
really wasn't. I think my parents, when my parents got divorced, I saw pictures after around that time, and I seemed to kind of chub up then, and then it'd been,
Right.
you know, the rest of the time then, you know, all through junior high, high school, you know, I was big.
Did you have many friends when you were that big? When you were at high school and things?
Not really, and you know, and people picked on you, and they're
Did
like, "Oh
they?
yeah, so and so likes
Which just
you,"
makes it worse, doesn't it?
you know, making jokes. You know, you just
Mm,
so you know, I had a few close friends, but I worked too when I was in high school, so I really didn't have the time to be in extracurricular stuff. So
Yeah.
mm.
I mean, but I mean, it was hurtful. You know, kids are hurtful. I can't even imagine what it's like being a child now with the internet and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
You have a weight
Oh, it's
problem on top
horrific.
of that. You know, posting pictures of you and making fun of you and stuff like that. I can't imagine what that would be like.
No,
So you
no.
weren't always overweight as a kid. Yours kind of like came on after the fact, usually from some kind of like a tragic event, like your parents splitting up or the stress that comes along with that.
I was like 6 or 7 probably when that started. So I mean, it was close enough to
Oh,
being.
so it was. Oh, okay.
I was fairly young then, so yeah. But
Interesting.
I'd lost. Mom made me go to a diet place like right before I graduated high school, and I lost like 60 pounds going to physician's weight
Oh,
loss.
tell us about that then.
They cut you down to like, I think at top you were at 700 calories a day.
Oh my God.
So I'd lost the 60 pounds, you know,
Yeah,
but I mean, of course, you're eating their meals. You're eating their
yeah,
meals, and then after a while, it's like, okay, how much can I eat chicken and broccoli the rest of my life? You know what I mean? You
yeah.
find a few things to make, and it's not realistic. So I
Mm,
gained that back, and probably more, and then I think I was like 26 or 27. I was working nights at the hospital, and they did a weight
mm.
loss contest. I actually lost 100 pounds on my own. I went,
Wow.
we went to
That's
the gym at
amazing.
night, you know. So that's what kept making me think, oh, I don't need surgery. I could do it again. I've done it
Do it by myself.
before. Yeah, and that was, you know, 25 years ago when you had a
Mm.
metabolism and you weren't on meds
Yeah,
for, you know, your blood
yeah.
pressure and your cholesterol and all that stuff, and just, you know, things change. And then, you know, when my thyroid was gone, that throws a wrench in too. So I
So you had a
tried,
problem with your thyroid. How long? When
it's,
did that start?
I never had symptoms. I had a scan done because I was having breathing problems, and they had saw I
Oh,
had nodules on my thyroid, and they said,
Oh.
oh, we'll wait 6 months, see if they get bigger. Well, they did, of course. So they
mm,
took my whole thyroid out. So
Oh
right.
wow.
I mean, that's kind of what started the whole thing. So I mean, you know, the breathing problems helped me find the thyroid problem. The thyroid problem is what made me kind of address my whole overall health. So
Yeah.
Mm,
it served its purpose. You know, that's the
mm.
doctor that kind of lit a fire under my butt and said, you know what, if you
You
don't
got to
start
do
watching your
something
sugars and stuff, I
Yeah.
I can't do anything to help you, because I was
because you're
diabetic.
diabetic as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I was diabetic since I was like 28. So, and then, you know, when I got my thyroid out, I was 50.
Mm.
So,
So were
you know,
you
it's
type 1 or type 2?
type 2.
Type
You know,
2.
it's all, you know, the insulin resistance and everything because of my weight.
Mm.
I was on Depo-Provera, which helped me gain weight, and then I think that caused the whole insulin resistance thing. So,
Totally there with you.
You don't realize how common it is that people have a like I never knew that a thyroid can cause it actually can prevent you
I've got one.
from losing weight.
I've got
You
a
know, because
problem.
yeah,
Underactive.
And I used to get frustrated because when I was a kid and I was overweight, you go to the doctor and they're like, you have a thyroid problem. We're going to test for it. And I'm like, okay. And then the test comes back and it's negative. I don't have a thyroid problem. And then like years would go by and like you lose weight and then you gain even more. And then I go to a personal trainer and the weight's not coming off. He goes, well, you have a thyroid problem. You need to go get blood tests. And I'm like, all right, fine. So then I go get blood tests and then it comes back with no thyroid problem. And the personal trainer actually told me that my blood test was wrong. And I'm like, I didn't know that you can fake blood. Like, I didn't know that was an option. But it used to be so frustrating that people's first go-to was always, oh, you must just have a thyroid problem. That's just because it's like the easiest explanation for not losing weight. But for a lot of people, that is a legitimate reason why they're not losing weight is because there's a hormonal imbalance with their thyroid, or especially when you have when you don't realize how much your sugar levels and stuff like that, it affects your whole system out of whack. So then, out of curiosity, now that you've lost as much as you did, do you still deal with diabetes, or has it so it's all gone now?
How much have you lost? Let's see how much you've lost altogether.
I've
What was your
lost
highest weight, and then what's your current weight now?
309. Well, I think I was 309 my first appointment. Then I did my few food funerals and went to eat all the stuff I couldn't have anymore. And I think I gained like 4 pounds. So it was probably like 313. And now I'm 145.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah, I know. It's incredible, isn't it, Sherry?
And it was, you said December of 2020.
Mm-hmm. That's
Wow,
when my surgery was, yeah.
And then question for you, because we did talk to Mike a while back, and I'm just curious because I don't even know your backstory. Like, how long have you guys been together?
We've been together, it'll be 26 years.
And then what was that like? Because I know like when Eric and I first started dating and like you're going out all the time, it's like you're gaining weight together because you're eating out all the time. And then we talked about a little bit with Mike, how one of us would be motivated and the other one wouldn't, and then like vice versa. What was the journey like? Because both of you struggled with obesity during your relationship. What was that like as far as how your relationship was at the time before surgery?
Well, I was thin when I met him. I was probably at my thinnest when I met him, and then I got on the birth control, started gaining, and then it's lifestyle, you know. I mean, how many couples do you see? Most couples you see, if one's overweight, the other one is too.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make any sense that, okay, one of you would be skinny and one would be heavy, because obviously the one that's not skinny is less active.
Right.
Well, the other one, you know, they kind of go hand in hand. I mean, it's not like 100% that, okay, if you're big, your husband's big or whatever. But
no,
I mean, you know, it's pretty common though.
Yeah.
So I had gained, and then he, you know, was bigger when I met him, and then he gained more. And like I said, we'd go on like those different low carb diets, South Beach and all that stuff. You know, we'd try different stuff and we'd lose 30, 40 pounds. But then when you stop doing it,
yeah,
you know, it just.
So you guys would at least try things together.
We'd try, yeah. But I mean, it would never be sustained, you know. And then when he first thought of having surgery, he lost like, I think like 90 or 100 pounds. And I don't remember if I was doing anything at that point. But like I said, until I had the opportunity, I kept thinking, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You know, if he wants to do it, I'll be supportive. I won't eat junk around, but I don't want to do it. But I mean, you have to hit your bottom. And once I was on 12-hour shifts and I could barely walk out of work and my back was killing me, that was pretty much my bottom. I thought, what am I going to do? This is, you know, the only job I've had my whole life. I've worked here, you know, almost 30 years. I don't want to have to lose my job because I can't physically be on my feet all day. I mean, and I don't want people accommodating me because I can't be on my feet all day.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a push too, to say, you know what, time to start doing something. So I lost like 42 pounds before surgery because I started actually doing my blood sugar. A novel idea when you're diabetic. Wow, check your sugar. How about that?
What a concept.
So yeah. So once I kind of got that more under control, I lost the 42 pounds. My surgeon was overjoyed because, I don't think he thought I was going to follow through with anything. I don't know if they're just skeptical because they see so many people come and then they don't actually go through with it.
Yeah.
I actually went to my family doctor and said, God, this surgeon hates me. I don't know why, kind of, abrupt and stuff, because I went for my first appointment and I'd already had the previous appointment with the other hospital. So I kind of knew a little bit about the procedure and stuff, not like facility, specific procedures, but just the whole basis of the thing. And he's like, oh, if you don't have any questions, you could just go. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now he's shocked. I go back for my year appointment. He comes to talk to me. He's, oh my God, look at how good you're doing. It's
yeah. Look at the animals.
But yeah.
All right, I have a question because we asked Mike too, and I'm curious to know what your answer is.
Mhm.
Leading up to the surgery, like the night before, like what was like? Were you excited? Were you nervous? What was going through your thoughts right before the surgery?
I think I was just numb. I didn't know. I really didn't know what to think. I know so many people are like, oh my God, and this is going to be my life-changing thing. I don't know if I still bought into it at that point, that it was going to change so much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm going, I'm finally going to do it. Hope nothing doesn't happen to me. Because you worry that something could happen. I mean, it's only the second, I'd had the thyroid surgery the year before, but before that, I never had surgery my whole life. So, I mean, you're just still kind of unsure, but like I said, I didn't know the magnitude of change that it would cause in my life. I didn't really realize at that point.
And can I go back, because Mike was saying that you were his carer type when obviously before the surgery. So obviously that dynamic was the carer. Why is that gone?
Yeah,
Sorry, I've lost you.
Most of the, like cutting the grass and stuff like that normally the husband would be out doing, I would be doing because he couldn't physically do it. His mom was with us and she couldn't physically do it. So I did a lot of the things, either one of them.
Cared for both of them.
So, yeah. But then, when I started getting to the point where, I mean, I never got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore, but it was getting a little bit harder.
Then you had to go. And then bouncing forward, obviously now where you've had your surgery and you started to lose the weight, how did that dynamic then change? Because obviously you were sort of bouncing around, starting to bounce around.
He's starting to do more to help around the house now than he was.
He is, he said, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying. He's still. I should have probably done that before this, but but yeah. So he's trying to. I mean, I don't think it was to the point where I felt like, that was my only role in the situation. That if I wasn't taking care of him, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, of course.
It really was that way, but.
Yeah.
So and another question for you, what, because everybody has a different journey once they have the surgery. For you, what would you say would be the most challenging part of the surgery, if anything? Like, was there anything that surprised you? Like, oh, I didn't think this was going to be this hard.
The water. I still have problems with fluid intake.
She does.
I can't get in enough water in a day.
And what is it about it that makes it challenging? Is it that like it makes you sick, or that you just physically can't consume that much?
It's physically uncomfortable with certain things. Certain drinks I could drink, like iced coffee, I could drink, no problem. Give me a bottle of water. I take 2 sips of water with my pills and I suffer for it.
Really?
So yeah, I don't understand. My dietitian doesn't even really get it either. She's like, wow, that's kind of weird. And I said, I don't know if it's just the, weight of the fluid, like if something's in it, it's different, or what it is, but certain things just don't sit well.
So that's really interesting. So it's not the fluid itself, it's just the plain water that just doesn't sit well.
Plain water, yeah, it's not good. I mean, and you get sick of Crystal Light and all that fakey stuff. You know, I mean, iced tea I could do. Like these energy drinks, I know they're not the greatest, but
It's
they're like
fluid.
the ones with B12 and stuff in them. They're not like the Red Bulls and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
those ones with more vitamins and things in them, and those don't sit too bad. They're a little bit carbonated, and it's funny because I could tolerate them and Mike can't. He takes
Really?
one sip of it and he's like, ugh.
See,
Yeah.
isn't that funny? I don't do very, very well. To this day, I rarely ever drink anything carbonated. Sometimes if somebody has like my drink back then was Dr. Pepper. I could drink Dr. Pepper all the time. So if Eric happens to have it out of the blue, I'm like, oh, I kind of want a little bit. And then I'll take a couple sips, but I couldn't drink like a whole can.
Just
like
a sip.
I just want just like a little sip or whatever. That's interesting. Now, have you ever tried like the infused waters, like taking water and like putting different fruits or like cucumber and lemon or watermelon?
Yeah,
Or
those aren't too bad. Like I think
okay,
I went to the dentist once or something, and they had like lemon water in the lobby, and I could drink like 2 cups of that, no problem. So I just got to find different things.
Fruits. Lemon.
Yeah, different things. Yeah, that lemon, that powdered lemon. There's those packets that are like, they look like sugar packets. It's called Real Lemon. That stuff isn't too bad.
oh, I never heard of that.
I had that in a while. I'll have to try that again because lately I'm really
Yeah, do that again.
having a struggle. I'm trying not to
Get
drink
the
my
water
iced
into
coffee
you.
every day because that's not good either. You know, I mean, and the calories, I get the sugar-free, you know, at McDonald's, but
Yeah.
I keep buying that stuff all the time. So I'm trying to make them at home and trying to just come up with different ideas. I mean, some of the low sugar.
This woman is a brilliant cook, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
My food
Brilliant.
doesn't sit well half the time anymore, but having a little bit.
Did you enjoy cooking before as well?
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot more because now the stuff I make too much. You gotta adjust your portion sizes, and I'll still make the same big amount of stuff because you know I would eat leftovers.
Yeah.
Leftovers don't sit well.
No.
No.
I guess it depends on the meal though too. Like I'll do meal preps and it'll usually last like a few days. But I also get tired of eating the same thing every day.
Yeah.
I don't.
I know you don't. Eric does. Eric can eat the same lunch every single day for weeks, and I'm like, after by day 3, oh my god, like I need no,
Like, come on.
no, not happening.
Especially with stuff Mike won't eat either. You know, sometimes he doesn't like chicken.
Vegetables.
They're like, chicken. I'll eat a couple days, and it's like, oh, God, I can't take no more.
Hey, Audrey, vegetables.
Yeah, he won't eat vegetables.
Mike can't stand vegetables.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes vegetables don't sit well with me either. Certain ones.
I love vegetables, but I think I always, except for when I was a little kid, but as an adult, like, oh my God, like give me like a good roasted Brussels sprout. I will eat that crap all day long.
Oh, I loved it before surgery, and I ate them after surgery, and I was deathly ill.
Oh, really?
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I used to make a pound
of
Brussels sprouts, and I just pull them out of the fridge and eat them. And now I tried doing that. No.
Oh no, I'm not gonna just pull it out of the fridge and eat it. Like that's no. I need to like roast it with oil and salts and like.
No, I loved them just cold out of the fridge. I didn't care. I'd eat a whole pound of them, and now I can't. For some reason, it just doesn't sit right.
Yeah, and then so Mike had told us that you guys both had different surgeries. You had the bypass, and he had the sleeve. Did you have any side effects or anything from the bypass, or was it a pretty smooth recovery?
No, it was pretty smooth. I mean, I had the normal issues after the old constipation.
Oh yeah,
it's all right. We've all had that. We've had that conversation with Mike as well.
That was real there for a while. Now that I try to eat more fruit and vegetables, and that kind of helps it. So I don't really have.
It's incredible, isn't it? Like the constipation with the surgeries, isn't it?
Oh my God,
it's really bad.
It was so bad.
Let me tell you something. I dedicated an entire chapter of my book to that problem. I did 100% because when you're going through it and you don't know about support groups, you think that you're only one going through it, but it wasn't until like you're talking to all these people that it was so common. I know that what eventually helped for me is taking fiber supplements every day. I was taking fiber gummies.
I've got Senna, which is a slow release, which
Yeah.
I take 2 at night, 1 in the morning.
We were doing that for a little bit. I don't need to anymore. I don't know if Mike
That's
does
good.
either.
Mm.
But yeah, that's miserable. You don't think, like you'd always think, oh, your grandma'd be like, oh, I haven't had a BM today, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You think, oh my God, it's an old people thing, they feel like they gotta poop every day. But
Yeah.
when you run into that and it's a
I want to
difficulty,
poop every day.
Yeah.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but
I know it is. It does sound it. I know. We all say that.
This is so funny. So, which is good because I've heard a lot of different side effects people have. But did you ever? Because I know that it's more common with bypass than sleeve. Did you ever have to deal with like dumping syndrome or anything like that?
I don't dump. Everybody dumps differently. If I eat sugar, my heart starts racing. That's the only thing that happens to me. I heard other people get, really sick, and I don't know if they throw up or anything. I don't throw up from that. I throw up from other stuff.
Right.
Throw up from eating too fast or eating something that's too solid, or that it just kind of feels like a
Because you're
pile.
having problems at the moment, aren't you, with sickness and tiredness
Yeah.
after meals, aren't you?
Some issues, yeah. Like even last night, I didn't eat that much at all, and I felt terrible, and ended up my little bit of lunch that I had came back up. So I don't know what to
And
do.
you're not eating particularly a lot anyway, are you?
No, I really didn't eat that much last night at all, and mac and cheese, that's not something that's solid. It's not like chicken that sits there.
Right.
Like, I don't know if it feels like it just doesn't go down and it kind of piles up, and then you feel like it's got to come up, or what the deal is with it. But oh my God, the first time you have that happen to you, it's scary. I had it was a little too dry and it didn't go down, and we're watching a movie and I'm just like doubled up in pain. And he's like, "What's the matter with you?" I go, "Oh God, I'm so sick. And I ended up, that was like the first time I threw up. Like,
Do you ever get like a
it's
pressure
not nice.
like on top of your stomach? Like I would get this pressure like right beneath like the breastbone where the breastbone like meets the stomach. And if I ever ate too fast or certain foods, it just felt like there was something stuck or just had like this really heavy feeling and it would not go away. And then it was like it could literally eventually pass if you walked it off, or in a split second you just have this look on your face like this is about to go sour very quickly. But for me, that was usually my tell sign is I would just feel the slight and if I felt the slight pressure, I'm like, okay, we need to like kind of calm down or either stop eating or slow down or whatever it is.
I think I don't feel that until it's too late.
Okay.
It's like point of no return. It's like, oh God, I'm going to feel like crap until I lay down or puke. One of the two. Or walking it off does help though too. I don't know if it gets things moving, that it goes down.
Yeah, it probably does. Yeah.
But usually I've gotten, if I do get to that point where I'm very close to the point of no return, I will just tell, I'm like, I'll be back in 20 minutes. I'm just going to go walk it off and hope for the best. And 9 out of 10, it'll usually subside after that, which is good.
Yeah.
So on a positive note, I'm curious to know, do you remember like what your first NSV was after the surgery? Or did you ever keep track of anything like that?
Non-surgical victory.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just fitting in smaller stuff. I mean, sometimes the scale wouldn't move as much, but then I'd go try to buy clothes or something, and I go, wow, I haven't lost that much, but the last size that I was in, big now. Stuff like that, or being able to go up or down the steps without huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
Or going to ride my bike and gee, I could do 3 miles and it doesn't even really affect me any, just little stuff like that.
And then she was going further and further, and she was going, I did 7 miles. I did 9 miles. I was just like, Jesus Christ, well done.
Now, since it's been winter, but I'm curious.
Yeah, and work and everything.
We're working out more. So I'll ride 7 miles on the bike before I even go lift weights or anything. But
Oh, it's fantastic.
yeah, just you'll run across different things. The clothes is the most smack in the face show
Yeah.
going on.
And you and Mike are going to the gym now as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have done that before.
No, he's going every other day. Actually, it was his idea because he's kind of, I don't know if he's hit like a plateau or, slowed down a little bit to where
Yeah, I know
I'm
it feels
at
like
home,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to maintain, but I mean, I could use the physical activity too. I mean, I'm trying to tighten up my
Just be healthy.
flappy arms and stuff like that. The old chicken wings under your arms.
Yeah, yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, but
we've all got those.
How is it? Because you're still working in the medical field, right?
Yeah.
So are you still working like those 12-hour shifts?
Not anymore. My new job's only 8s. So.
Oh, good. Do you notice a huge difference in like your physical ability, like being at work now?
Yeah, definitely. Because I was all along after the surgery, I could get around better, but now, it's like over the place, and 10,000 steps is nothing.
Like a feather.
Now, if I work over, it's 12 hours. Like I'll pick up 4 hours, and I'm not physically tired. It's the mental. The mental tired doesn't change, but the physical tired, I'm not as physically tired anymore.
Which is good. And then I'm just asking a ton of questions. I'm just putting you in the hot seat.
No.
If you don't mind. How has your relationship changed or improved at all, like between you and Mike, since you guys have done this together?
Well, I mean, we're pretty solid before anyway, but I think, we're probably closer because we understand.
Yeah.
We've been through. And like I said, I try. It's a little difficult since I'm where I want to be, and I could kind of be a little more lenient with myself and give myself different treats that, I mean, I don't want to swing back to bad habits or anything.
Right.
If I've lost, I could kind of eat a little more.
You're trying to maintain now, aren't you?
And I try
rather than keep losing and losing and
before
losing.
I buy anything bad, unless I'm going to hide it in the house where he can't find it, I try to ask him first, hey, is it okay if I buy this? If this is going to tempt you and turn you into, send you down a wrong path, I don't want to do it.
The Hulk.
I do the shopping. He really doesn't go he never goes grocery shopppping or anything.
Wait, do any of the guys go grocery shopping though?
They drive me crazy in the store.
My Stu, sorry. Stu does everything.
Really?
Guys in the store drive me crazy. They bug me. I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh my God, get your wife to the shop. No, maybe you don't have a wife.
I feel like Eric never looks at prices. Like he doesn't bargain shop, and then
that's me.
Oh my God, why?
I don't know. I just like going. I hate shopping, so I'm like, pick up what I want, get out.
See, that's Eric. He does not want to be there any longer than he has to. So if you ask him to get ketchup, like I'm gonna find like the cheapest ketchup. Like I'll find like a good brand.
Yeah,
I don't want cheap knockoff, but then he'll buy like a $6 bottle. Like, did we need $6 worth of ketchup? Like, what are you doing? And he goes, and I'm like, didn't they have any cheaper ones? He goes, I don't know. I didn't look.
Ketchup.
Just grab the first one I saw.
And then I don't know about in England, but here you have like rewards. You type in your phone number and then you get discounts like when you go to the store.
We get like a discount code. So you've got a barcode and you
So you can get a card here, or you just type in your phone number and it's linked or whatever. I swear to God, I stopped asking Eric to go to the market because every time he came home with a new card. And I'm like, why didn't you use our phone number? He goes, oh, I didn't know which number it's on. I'm like, it's under mine. I'm the only one who does the shopping and stuff like that. But after the 7th or 8th Bond's card that was on the counter, I'm like, you're done. You're done. I will just do the market from now on. I give up.
Oh my God.
That's so funny. So
I'm lucky.
Well, first of all, congrats to you to being at your goal weight already.
Absolutely. Marvelous.
Yeah, I actually passed it. My doctor told me 150. I was thinking 160 because that was like the lowest I'd ever been. And he's like, get to 150, gives you a little leeway. So now I passed 150, now I'm to 145. I'm like, okay.
We don't want to go any lower.
If I get to 140, I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'9". So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's getting
She's very
skinny.
tall.
At 140 is going to be a little too.
A little too much for you. I
Yeah,
can see that. And you know, people still ask me like, "What's your goal weight?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not there yet. Like I've never been whatever
My
weight I'm
body's not there yet.
yeah, like I'm a few pounds away from being the lowest I've ever been in my life, but I know that I can still lose some more. But for the most part, I mean, like I'm 5'7", so I'm not much shorter than you. Victoria's in a field of her own. We're not gonna go into her height.
I'm an itty bitty compared
She's
to you
itty
two.
bitty. But like
5'4".
even if you and I were the same height, if we weighed the same exact number, we're gonna look completely different. So there's no way that you can really gauge like what
No.
number you want to be. But the fact that you're in the vicinity of where you want to be and that you're comfortable and like kudos to you, like that's unbelievable.
but I mean, the number doesn't always mean the most either. I mean, being
No.
It's the body and mobility,
you know what
isn't
I
it?
mean? If you're happy where you're at physically and things like that, I mean, the number really shouldn't.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, all it is, oh, that BMI. Oh, you know, your BMI is not where it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, my cholesterol's good, my blood pressure's good. I'm off my
Yeah.
pills for my
Diabetes is good.
diabetes. I'm not on anything but freaking thyroid pills because I have to be.
Right.
Mm.
You know, and my vitamins and my antacids because of my stomach. But you know, other than that, I mean, everybody's fixed on that number. I don't know if that's always the thing that you know gauges your
I
success.
think basically you sort of get a number, but you don't always stick to it because obviously things change, or the you know the journey takes different turns. So of course, when you get to certain levels, you think, oh no, I'm happy here. So then you it all changes, doesn't it? But I think as a guideline, you know where you're heading. I think everybody sort of says, oh, I'd like to be that.
Yeah.
As just as a guideline.
And it's so funny because Mike made a comment too, because I mean, which is incredible that he's lost like 300 pounds already, but he's still considered morbidly obese because of his weight. And like even me, I have this app where I keep track of my weight loss or like how many pounds I've lost. And for the first time in like over 5 years, I feel more confident now than I did even at my technically my lowest after the surgery. But then I look at this app and it still tells me I'm overweight. And I'm 179 and I'm 5'7". But looking in the mirror, I'm like, I feel incredible, but I hate that this stupid app says like you're still overweight.
I'm overweight.
I'm like,
For that
oh,
number, no.
yeah. So
How dare you?
because I remember like when you look at the charts on what's considered healthy or your normal range, I think at one point it said if you were 5'7", you should be between 125 and 140 pounds. And I'm like, number one, I'm
That's
Italian. I got
ridiculous.
huge hips. I have a big booty. I have giant boobs. I'm like, if I was
There's no
120,
way you're going to get 125.
I would be skin and bones. Like
You
that's not
would.
ideal for me.
I haven't even looked at my BMI chart for my size anymore. I should
Oh, yeah.
though. I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Like I would Google it right now, but
Yeah.
and then so which number one, I love that I'm sad that you're going through some issues right now with like the water intake and certain foods that you're having. So I do hope that kind of gets rectified soon
Me
for you.
too.
But I'm happy to know that overall that it's been a pretty smooth ride for you. Like you didn't have like major complications.
My gallbladder though, that I forgot about that. I did have.
Oh,
I forgot about the gallbladder major surgery.
Yeah, another surgery that it was kind of like in the background between my other two. Yeah, so I think it was August of last year. I had to get my gallbladder out because I was throwing up. And
it
when
was
I
like a
throwing up,
task.
I felt like I needed to throw up. So
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot about that. That's a little bit of a.
You're fine. But I heard
An
it's
important section in your journey.
But I've heard it's so common that people who have weight loss surgery oftentimes will have their gallbladder removed at some point.
Mm.
I don't know what the scientific or medical
I've heard
reason.
that. I've heard that quite a
Something with
lot
the
actually
fast
on the
weight
groups.
loss causes sludge in your gallbladder or something, and
Something like that.
they were like, "Oh, we don't know if this is going to help you or not." I mean, oh, it was miserable. It was
Well,
really
those
bad.
gallbladder attacks are no joke.
Yeah, it was bad. You'd
I've
have
had mine out way before the surgery.
you'd
Luckily.
feel like you needed to throw up. Well, it was funny. That happened to me last night when I threw up once and then had the heaves. Like I wanted to throw up again. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no, this is reminiscent of that gallbladder stuff. That wasn't good at all.
That was me.
But, yeah, that was rough.
Mm.
But I mean, when I think complications, I don't really think of that as a complication. That's just something that
No,
kind of
because
You
that
went
could
through.
happen
with
But
it.
that's a complication
It's probably why I
because
didn't
you were
think about
throwing
it.
up and it was a
Really
big
not.
problem.
But it's not like where I've heard people have, oh, I had blood
Yeah,
clots, I
twisted
had
stomachs and things.
all this other stuff to where, I mean, that just kind of
Mm.
goes with the territory. And a lot of
Part and
people, they say
parcel.
they get it out at the same time, which
Wow. Okay.
wasn't even offered to me. But I mean,
No,
when you
I've
don't have
never
problems,
heard
you're just
that
going to
either.
think, yeah, while you're in there, why don't you just rip that out too?
Hiatus hernias as well. So just take the hernia out, the gallbladder out. Oh, and the stomach.
Yeah, do
while
a
you're
tummy tuck
there.
while you're there too.
Yeah.
like that. Was there anything during the journey that, looking back now, you're like, I wish they would have warned me about that? Like I wasn't prepared for that?
Not really. I mean, they tried to prepare you pretty well before the surgery,
That's
and
good.
get you to up your fluids then.
Yeah.
Used to drink a lot, which I
Try and
did
get
drink a
used
lot
to it.
before, but
And what sort of advice would you give somebody now going through the surgery to start off and like their journey, the befores and after? What sort of advice would you give somebody?
I would try to make some positive changes beforehand because you can't go from eating junk till, the day before surgery and then just expect to eat totally differently once
Yeah.
I mean, you physically can't eat as
No.
much anymore. But I mean, it's good to try to start some good habits beforehand to kind of change your
agree.
mind, shift your mind to eating healthier and things like
Yeah.
that. You see that you're losing some before. I mean, some programs make you lose before. Mine didn't. But I mean, I just started making the changes before, and it's got to help you some to try to get out of the bad habits. Or because your mind still wants to go back to eating junk. It never goes away.
No, that's right.
I mean, and when I'm stressed, I eat junk. I try not to. It's just something got you to the point where you were at.
I know.
Trying to do something to change it because you got into those habits for how many years?
And trying to get out of
the whole
them is a
transferal
nightmare.
and stuff. I mean, where people start drinking and stuff like that.
Like me.
Addicted to
everybody knows
or get
about
addicted
mine.
to shopping like I am.
You are addicted to shopping, actually.
Try to transfer to something else, and Mike's starting to get to where he wants to go to the gym a lot,
which is great
because if he sits at home, he wants to eat. So I mean, you try to make healthy changes to, do something better than what you're replacing. But sometimes you find things.
I do have at least one more question for you, because both you and Mike's case are unique because, one, you've been on both sides of the spectrum, as both the patient perspective and the supportive partner perspective. So since you've been on both sides of it, what advice would you give to somebody whose partner is about to have weight loss surgery, whether it's how to prepare them to be there emotionally, or
good question
physically to help out?
Yeah, that is a good question.
To the partner.
I can't even imagine what it'd be like going through that without somebody else in the house doing it at the same time.
Really?
A lot of the problem of why he didn't get his surgery because his mom was kind of an enabler. That no matter what we did, she'd sabotage. So I mean, it's so much easier having both of us doing it at the same time. I mean, it's not fair to the person that's not getting the surgery to say, "Oh, well, you can't eat this anymore," because you don't have it anymore. I mean, they should kind of understand and try to do more to kind of not tempt you with stuff. Like I said, I can't even imagine what it would be like if he wasn't in the same boat as me, because it'd be like telling somebody else to deny, like somebody in our group that has kids, like Mark has kids. You know, tell your kids that you can't have a cookie because daddy can't eat it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be rough. You know, I don't know what would be a good way to handle that. But I mean, just try to.
He's doing good. He's got
try
down
to
to
help,
his ideal
try to
weight.
help your spouse stick with the program that they need to. Try not to, you know,
Steer
wait stuff in their face that they can't have. I mean, it's a big change. I mean, and for a while they're not going to be able to eat normal, and even like we based our vacations on where we're going to go eat. You know, we watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives and be like, okay, we're going here. What's around there? So now it's like, okay, we haven't really taken a vacation since we had surgery.
No, your vacation for next year is me.
We haven't
Yeah.
So October we're going away for a wedding. So I mean, obviously we won't be planning on where we're going to go eat.
Where you're going to eat?
What food challenge we're going to do, because we used to do those too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard when you base a lot of your things around food and
it's crazy, isn't it?
Isn't it
the same anymore?
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that, because I remember the one Eric and I have only been on 2 vacations really on our entire relationship, and both times they were to Maui. And ever since we had left, every time we think about one day we're going to go back to Maui, it was, we're going to this restaurant, we're going to this restaurant, we're going to get the frozen yogurt at this place. And it was all food based. And this is before the surgery. So now we really want to plan a trip this year because it's been so long. And I was like, if we do, the first thought we started having was, oh, we got to go to this restaurant. We got to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to be able to eat that.
We don't have to do that anymore.
It's not as exhilarating as it was before. And so now it's more like, I want to wear a bathing suit on the beach for the first time. And we can try hiking, or if we can, like, I've never done scuba diving. And I was all of a sudden like, the mindset kind of changed to, I wanted to find more physical activities to do. Then what places are we going to engorge ourselves and eat?
That's true. That's what we're going to end up doing too, because now that we moved, we're like in a town that has a major college. So we're like, man, let's go to college football games. Let's go, you know, the baseball field, you know, nearby. Let's go do
see
stuff,
them.
you know. So it's good that your mind shifts, and since you could do that, it's interesting.
I hope that we can have you back again. I would love to talk to you and Mike together, maybe after your trip, whenever you have your vacation. Because I want to know, like, what that was like, how different it was now that you guys are like literally half the people that you were before, in a good way. And how that dynamic of vacationing is different when you're in a different place together. And I love, you know, and it's so funny that you said that you can't imagine 2 couples not going through this together, but like you guys are definitely like in the rare percentile of couples that have this surgery together. But I loved that when Mike was going through his surgery, like, you were very conscious. Like, I don't want to tempt him. I don't want to do things. And maybe that's because you've been through it. Like, you know, like how that's going to affect somebody. Whereas I appreciated Eric took it overboard. He was so worried about having me smell something he was cooking that he would make me sit in the bedroom. He would close the door. He turns the TV because apparently you can't smell anything when the TV's really loud or whatever. And then he would literally go and eat his food over the sink because he didn't like, and it'd be as far away from me as possible. And even though I really appreciated that, I had to sit him down and be like, babe, you didn't go through the surgery. I to put myself through this to get healthier and to get better. I don't want you to suffer because.
And you can't be like that for the rest of your lives. You've got to learn how to cope with it.
Yeah. But that
was funny.
Yeah. And what was hilarious is Eric is not a sweets person. it would get to the point where if somebody had dessert on the table, the smell was so overpowering for him, it would physically bother him. Like, he's weird. I need chocolate all the time. And so, but all of a sudden, I have this surgery. I am doing liquid 1 ounce sips all the time. Eric goes, Sherry, I don't know what the hell is happening, but I want chocolate 24/7 now.
Oh, wow.
He literally got the biggest sweet tooth literally overnight, and all of a sudden he's buying candy bars on the way home.
Look at
And
this.
it's starting to
Oh,
be-
see, once you start, he'll just want that sugar, you see.
yeah, and maybe it was because I couldn't have it that now his body was craving it, but he never really ate it. I don't know what happened, but I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
It was funny
Yeah,
when Mike was
crazy.
when we were both pre-op. His pre-op diet, he could eat solid food and I couldn't. So I'd have to
Oh,
heat up.
really? Yeah,
He
some
could
people do
have,
the
I
solid
think, 2
food.
shakes and like lean cuisine or something that was like 500 calories.
Yeah.
I could only have shakes.
Mhm.
So I had to cook his
Yeah, I
lean
could only
cuisine
have
and sit there and
shakes.
look at it, and I'm like, that was pretty rough.
That talk about willpower. I remember making Eric birthday dinner, and I was like 3 weeks out from surgery.
Oh no.
And so I couldn't have any food. And the smell of the garlic and the onions,
divine.
I was so. I mean, like, you do what you have
So
to
you
do.
should have stayed in the bedroom with the telly on.
I should have.
Cook your own dinner.
Let me turn the TV on so I don't smell the food.
Oh my
He's so
God, when
cute.
you can't eat something, until you have your first solid meal after. Oh my God, you're like, I'm so sick of mushy stuff.
Yes.
But then after the fluids, your first puree, you're all happy because it's like, oh my God, it's almost like
it's so
food.
funny, isn't it?
Oh my God,
Apple
we had
baby, apple
weird
sauce.
puree. We had the weirdest puree stuff ever. Like, he wanted puree kibasi and sauerkraut. It was wrong.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But he loved it. He's like, oh my God. And then he'd be like, oh, can you do some baked beans? I'd buzz everything up. I had like an immersion blender. Like, or even.
I wasn't that brave. I would take like a chicken noodle soup or something, and that I might blend together. But I've heard of people do weird stuff in the blender just to be able to have the taste. And I'm like, that just doesn't sound good on paper for me.
Wendy's chili is good like that. I don't know if you have Wendy's in California, but oh my God, that was good.
Well, all purified.
About that.
Oh, just blend it up.
Yep. Just blend it up.
Because it's a mincemeat.
Oh my God, it tastes like something other than pudding or Jello or broth or all this other crap.
Yeah, exactly. Something savory.
Well, on that note, like, Audrey, like, seriously, we can't thank you enough for being here today.
No, darling, thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Like I said, I want to help others, realize what this could do for them. And it's done for me. I mean, it's made changes that you wouldn't even think of. I mean, I changed jobs, moved to a different town. Neither one of us could have done that move before this.
No, the confidence now is amazing, isn't it?
Confidence and being physically able to do it. I wouldn't have wanted to go being the fat girl, being the fat new girl. Oh my God, it's bad enough being the new girl, but being the fat new girl would have been even worse. But
no,
it makes all the difference in the world. So I would do it again.
I love that. And thank you so much. I'm definitely going to want to have you and Mike. Oh, I know both of us are going to want to have you and Mike on back again. And I can't believe it's already been an hour, and that's our show.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy. So thank you again to Audrey for joining us.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
I
appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're going to have you guys on again. And then for those of you listening at home, make sure you stay tuned for Feel Good Friday. And we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Okay.